Good evening or afternoon, Ethan. How are we?
Doing good. Doing very good.
Lovely.
How are you, Mecca?
Oh, I am fine, Aidan, my darling. Thank you very much for asking. For
One.
those who are watching who may not know, as individuals and as a whole unit and what you do in the band, please introduce yourselves. That would be lovely.
I'm Aidan. I play rhythm guitar and I'm lead vocals.
Yeah, I'm Callum, I think, anyway. I play drums, sort of.
I'm Isaac. I play lead guitar. I guess together we are Skelephant, including Will, who's not here.
Yeah. We also have
God
Will
bless you, Will.
Stephen, who plays bass for us, but he's not available for this.
God bless.
He's not. He's too exclusive. You can't get hold of him.
He's
Yeah.
too busy. He's a big man. Before you were Skelephant, you were Howl, of course. And the last time you played as Howl was right before lockdown. Was it on the 29th of February, I believe, at the Horn?
It was
28th.
28th.
2 days after my birthday.
That was one of the best sets I've ever seen, like in that room by any band. Like it
Oh,
was
man,
so.
I'm
It was.
honored.
I mean, I've said this to you before. Don't act like this is news to you, man. Like you know this, but like
Yeah.
it was so great. Like
It was very good. We are fantastic.
I mean, it was a great night all round, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we were getting nervous. Me and Isaac were saying to each other, we were getting nervous, like as it was getting closer and closer to us going up, because all of the other bands had been like really on point,
So
and the
good.
crowd was in a really good mood, and we were like, man, there's quite a lot to lose now.
I wouldn't say nervous for me, but I was getting like butterflies. You know, I
Yeah.
felt that we had to kind of bring the thunder in a way.
Yeah.
Palpitations, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Frosty Mornings,
Hounds Hall, right?
Hounds
Yeah.
Hall.
Mhm.
and then us and I'd never seen Father Benjamin and the Frosty Mornings before, which is Arthur's project,
Yeah.
and with associated people like Matt Kersey and
Well,
and Will
Yeah.
and Johnny on drums, and you know that's a good lineup as is.
Yeah.
But I've never seen him before, and they really like. I was very impressed,
Yeah.
and Matt Kersey was ripping it up on the guitar. So I personally felt that I had to perform.
Yeah.
You know,
mate, can you imagine how to follow up
I was like, we've got to follow that.
Yeah, I must admit, I was a little bit like, oh man, we've really got to be like on our A game tonight. And luckily we were. I
You
think that
really
was one of the
were.
most fun gigs.
That's the
we've ever
most fun
played.
I've had gigging.
Yeah.
It was
That's
so
the best gig I've had, I think.
so tight, so loud, so powerful, so like just everything just kind of fell into place. I mean, there was a game, and I bet there was pressure, but if you knew that was going to be the last one in a hot minute, would you have felt that fear? But also knowing that was the last one for a
I
hot
don't know,
minute.
man. I'm kind of glad that we didn't know it was going to be the last one, because I feel like that would have affected the show
Yeah.
a bit. You know, I'm glad the way it happened, because like as soon as we hit that first chords, I remember obviously the first line of the first song we did Crocodile Tears first, and it was like Aidan kind of is out there on his own, and then the whole band crashes in on the first big chorus on the first chord.
Yeah.
And I remember as soon as I hit that chord, everything just like fell into place.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, no, we got this. We got this.
I have my ear protection in.
And I feel like maybe some of that magic would have been lost if we were like trying to, if we weren't like living in the moment so much, and we were trying to just make the most of it or whatever.
But yeah, I mean, to me, like personally, it really felt after that gig like that, like it felt like that was the first gig in like a long, you know, line of good gigs that we were going to play. It really felt like the first good gig of a really good month where we were going to do, you know, like, I don't know, just it felt like that was kicking something off, like a new kind of like little era for the band, because that was the last one that we played as Howl, and we were just about to rename, and it really felt like we had sort of, you know, like we were in our element now, and that the next gigs that were coming up we were going to absolutely ace as well and really get the ball rolling. And then like you know,
it was just lovely seeing everyone in the crowd, like all of our mates and stuff, like dancing and really enjoying it, and everyone big things in their faces, you know, including us. So
it makes me sad thinking back, because it was nearly a year ago now, which is insane to think about, but also right, but also what a what a high note to reflect on as like your last gig before it all went tits up.
Yeah,
And I mean,
I'm glad about
yeah,
that.
Yeah, I mean, even saying that you were supposed to gig in January at the Horn, like a distant show, but it was supposed to be a show,
Yeah.
especially coming off the 2 singles you released
Yeah.
during lockdown, or the
Yeah.
lockdowns, or whatever you want to call them. And again, that got snatched. What was the mindset going into that? Was there practice? Was there stress? Or were you like ready to like pick up that momentum lost nearly a year prior and just go?
We try to organise practices, but we're not very good at that.
Yeah, we're a bit
Oh,
It was really annoying though, because I'd spent like £250 on a new cymbal. I was like, yes, first gig back, going to be able to play that. Also, just going to be able to play a gig for the first time in a year. And
I actually forgot to book work off for that, so I'm kind of glad it didn't happen in the end. From what I'd seen and everything, all the restrictions that were in place at the Horn they made me feel comfortable to gig there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess as a rock band, I kind of like to have like a crowd of people.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to tables, but I've never tried it, and I'd like to give it a go.
I do think it would be weird though, not being able to like look out and see people like vibe into it.
A bit like, well, it's a bit like doing an open mic, you know. Maybe it's a bit more kind of exposing in like the 60s and 70s and stuff. Even to like big bands.
Yeah.
Some people would just like stand and watch and not like clap or sing along or shout or anything like they do now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might have been a pretty interesting experience.
Yeah, I think we knew it was going to be different. I mean, I was kind of looking forward to it because I know you can't get people moshing and you can't get people dancing around and all that stuff because everyone's going to be sat down. But I mean, I like me, and in fact, all of us kind of came from an open mic at the Horn, so I'm sort of like at my most comfortable when it's like a quiet room and there's a load of people sat down in front of me, and you know, even sitting down. I used to sit down for the open mics. But I mean, you know, but like I'm pretty sure all of us, like Callum, I know you did, and Isaac, you used to play a fair amount.
I'm much more comfortable though when I've got noise.
Blue Angel.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Like as a vocalist, I don't know. I think it's quite nice. Obviously, I do really like, you know, when you've got a crowd and people are having a good time, but I also don't mind like the flip side of the coin where you're sort of, you know, you're sitting there, it's all quiet, you can actually chat to people. You know, everyone's just kind of sitting down, relaxing and enjoying. So I thought it would kind of be somewhere in between the two of those things where it's like, you know, open mic, quiet, sat down, and then like a proper gig. So I was kind of interested to see how it would be. I was looking for it. Never got to find out.
You know, I was really hoping it was going to work out, but I kind of expected the lockdown to come again after Christmas. So I wasn't surprised when it had to get cancelled, unfortunately.
Yeah, when Luke sent me the email, I was like, we knew it was coming. It was just, you know.
It's what it is, you know. Hopefully this summer we're going to get more opportunities if it's, even if gigging inside is restricted and stuff, maybe open air things, you know, in the summer when it's warm enough. I think that's much more likely.
Anything to do, I think, really, any sort of function, which is sad to think about. I mean, like, were you gonna drop Serenity earlier then, if that gig went forward, or was Serenity always set to be when you dropped it? When was it? When was the date you dropped it?
We've had it for a little while. In fact, this is probably the only single we've actually planned ahead properly a release for.
The other singles we kind of rushed out a little bit because we weren't really.
I wouldn't say rushed out.
No, not. I mean, we weren't very savvy on how you know, distribution websites and stuff like that worked. So, you know, I think for OK, we uploaded it a week before it was supposed to go out, and I think it was Will was like, you know, that's not how it works, right?
No, so that was me who said that.
Yeah, that's true then. Yeah, Callum was like, you know, you got to actually give it like a month.
So this time we did give it long enough. So it was released when we meant it to release.
Man.
But we actually picked the date of the gig to line up with Serenity, because Luke Hinton sent me an email sort of saying we've got these dates available, and we sort of, you know, sketched out where Serenity was coming out and what else we were doing that month, like what kind of promo we were doing, and then picked, I think it was the 14th we were supposed to gig, picked that so that it would be a good run up to Serenity, and then so bit of a shame, but
yeah, it would have been nice, but you know, you've got to adapt and just go. Like, I feel like even with COVID, a lot of stuff has kind of happened for our band this year, because we've been putting out stuff. We've written a whole bunch of songs that need like finishing, sure, and we haven't really been able to get into a studio to do them yet. We might do in the coming months, we'll see. But you know, I feel like we've done a fairly good job of kind of carrying on, and getting stuff out there and doing what we can without the gigging aspect of things, you know. I think I'm pretty happy with that. We've released like 3 singles out there that people are listening to, people are loving.
Well, yeah,
and you know,
I mean,
making the ways we can.
3 singles, 4 songs, all have different vibes and sounds, and like express a different part of the band, different functions and muscles, and it's just so good. I mean, like, even without the gig, it's a good bloody plan, man. Like, even without the gig, how was Serenity for you guys? And I'm talking about like not just the release, but also the recording and the writing. How far does it go back, and how long have you waited to put this like on wax or digital?
I remember like when we were sort of first starting thinking about getting me in the band like a year and a half ago. We were like in my bedroom with like the electric drum set, like in the amp. I don't know when that would have been though. Like,
it was, God, a long time. We've had Serenity.
It would have been 2019. So a long time, basically.
It was definitely, it was one of those ones where, like, as soon as Isaac had written the riff and shown it to me, it was kind of like, okay, well, that's like the center of the song. That's like, that riff is, you know, that's kind of the soul of the song. And it was quite difficult for me to write lyrics to it because there was already so much like character in the song already, and it was all like, you know, the focus of the song was down there. And I did find it quite difficult to write lyrics for a long time. And it wasn't one of those ones where it sort of came to me and I wrote it all at once. It was like, you know, half a dozen like revisions of the song, and then I like cherry picked all the best bits, and it was difficult, but I'm happy with what I came out with. But
sounds good.
I think Serenity has probably, I'm like really pleased with how it came out, and I feel like all the work that we put into it paid off because we worked a lot on Serenity. Like, I think out of all of our songs, it's probably been the hardest work out of all of them. But
passion project. The little love baby.
As Aidan said, like, I had the riff down ages ago. I do this quite a lot where I have like all the parts almost, or at least all the guitar parts down for a song for like ever before we even get to record it. So like, it was really, I had the idea for doing those like harmonized parts going into the solo for like the whole time we've had the song. So it's been like 2 years, and it's been finally able to get them down in the studio was like super nice.
I remember us talking about all the different guitar parts and what we were going to do, and sort of being like, we don't have 4 guitars on stage live, we can't do that. We've got to wait until we record it.
Well, I figured out a way to kind of play the parts live that it's like an amalgamation of the like 4 guitar parts that kind of comes together nicely. But I kind of had this idea for the recording that I wanted it to feel more kind of fluid and natural. I don't like that a lot of music now is kind of fixed to a metronome.
Were you born in the wrong generation?
Yeah, I think I was.
Look at our hair, man. Like,
I know. I felt that it takes away nuance from, if you've got really good players, you can kind of push and drag on timing to give extra feel. Like, it makes it more emotive, in my opinion. And I wanted to try and capture some of that with this song. You know, like, one of my main inspirations for this song was Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin, because if you listen to it and you listen to the timings in the song, it obviously starts out really calm and goes to this big like crescendo, but the speed of the song very slowly picks up. So it goes from quite slow at the beginning to quite fast at the end. And I wanted to kind of capture a little bit like that. So we recorded it with, we just did.
Metronome.
Yeah, we didn't do any metronome for it
right.
at all.
That was really fun for the drums because like I was just able to just like lose my and just rather than have to like focus on playing like to the beat. I was like Isaac said, it was like I sort of come in and I was like trying to keep it sort of steady, like Bonham kind of style.
Yeah.
But then as it got further in the song, I was just like, I was going crazy. Like I remember Zoe dropped me to like the recording session. I remember being in the car, just like playing the heaviest shit I could find on my phone, just to like get into the mood. But I think it really shows on the track because there is a couple
Got a lot of energy
feels, but I feel like it gives it.
Yeah.
Feels like it's just slapping you in the face, you know.
You can look at Aidan's face right now and you can see what he wants to say.
Yeah, I wanted to. I think it was one of our favorite songs to play live, just because it was probably from the beginning like our most energetic song. Because although we've written stuff that's a bit more, you know, energetic and upbeat since then, I think Serenity was the first one that was like, you know, picked it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it was really important to all of us to actually convey sort of the same energy as it has if you were to see it live, because we know that, you know, people that know of the song or knew of the song before we released it would have been really excited to hear that kind of thing. So we definitely didn't want it to just sound like a, you know, on the beat,
we wanted to catch that live feel for it, you know. And I do think maybe we went a little bit far in that direction. Of kind of looseness, maybe. At least I wouldn't go that far with recording other stuff. I think it came through well with this track. Actually. But for some of our other tracks that we've got in the lineup, I think maybe we'll take elements of that but not go quite as far. It was
that's the thing. There was like a bit of controversy when we were sort of deciding how to go about it, because we weren't sure whether or not we'd gone, like Isaac said, a bit too far with it, like speeding up the song too much or being a bit too sort of, you know, rock and roll and loose about it. But I think it really, you know, suited the song in the end. And there was a bit of doubt when we first started getting mixes back, but I think the more we heard it, the more we realized that it actually sounded good and it's what the song needed. I don't necessarily think we'll do it exactly the same way in the future, because I sort of, a bit of me feels like we got away with it. So, you know, but I mean, you know, I think people will like it, and that's the important thing. And it's not like a glaring hole or anything in the song. It's more just like a feature.
I think it's a production choice that we made for the song that worked in this case. And you know, because of the limitations maybe of the studio, we couldn't do it exactly as we wanted anyway, because we were working at Will's place, which is great, but it's quite hard to do a full live band recording there. Because it's literally like his room and the room next door, so you can't have the drum set up and everything and just play it all together, which would have been ideal. So
we should say actually Will does have the capability to do that now, so he's grown since then, so we'll give him a shout out for that.
Shout out Studio Live.
But at the time that we recorded it, it wasn't particularly easy to do it, so we decided to not do it that way. And
we actually me and Aidan both played our parts, the song, while Callum drums, and then we just recorded the drums. So I don't know if there's like some bleed over in the drum mics of us playing maybe, or something like that, which I think is cool. It's like kind of a bit of a glue that holds everything together. I like the idea of having some bleed on the mics and all that kind of thing,
because I wanted the drums to be like, you know,
we're hoping to get some more like live room recording type stuff for our more rocky sounding tracks to be able to get that kind of real feel.
Real feel, man.
I mean, so I guess is that the next checklist then on this note, to sort of like, is that the main goal for now, or is there other things that Skelephant have in mind? Anything that you want to particularly bring attention to?
We've got a little acoustic set actually
Oh, we do,
I
yeah.
meant to ask you about this ages ago. I
Yeah.
like you filmed it yonks ago, right?
Yeah, so we filmed it sort of in the autumn.
Yeah.
Because the leaves were coming down.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, it was really nice. And because it's not like our thing to publish, we did it with Will, Stephen, and also a friend of mine called Harry Reeves, who does sort of like filming and stuff like that. Yeah, they've they've been pretty secretive about it and stuff like that. So I hope they won't mind us saying. But yeah, hopefully our one will be coming out fairly soon. But we'll share it across all of like our socials and everything, so you should be able to see it.
Finishing off all the editing and stuff on it, I think it's really nice. We found a really lovely location for it, and it's like right in the middle of a forest.
Don't say where it is, because we want to keep all its locations hidden.
I'm not saying where it is, but it's in a forest, and there's like it's right in autumn, so all the like autumn leaves are falling around us. It's just it was really cool to play there. It's a bit cold on the fingers, but
but no, it was good. So I guess that's probably the next highlight that we've got coming up. But yeah, you're right. After that, it's basically just getting into this studio.
We're looking at trying to put together a bit of a bigger release than just singles.
So that's all we'll say though.
And then maybe hopefully play a massive gig to coincide.
Oh man, we want to play festivals. If anyone wants people to play festivals and is watching this, and they might go ahead, that's the important part. We're definitely down, because festivals. I really want to play festivals. Yeah, and I haven't had a chance really yet. So
you can suit the vibe of most festivals locally even so well. You can blend them with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to as well. Like I've been to, I think not last year, but the year before that, I went to Wilkstock, and it was like, it was so nice. I had a great summer. It was very nearly the highlight of my summer. It was it was lovely. I'm sad that I missed out, because I actually had to hop out of Wilkstock to get a train to London to play a gig with Isaac.
I remember walking to Dalston. What station was it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you came to that gig, didn't you? Oh god, that was great. And then I went from that gig back to Wilkstock. So I did miss out on a little bit of it in the middle. But yeah, I'd love to go back to Wilkstock and actually play, as opposed to just go to watch. Because I mean, it's a hell of a time just going to watch people, but to go and play would be pretty sweet.
Do you remember that gig though, Aidan? They didn't. The aircon was broken. It was in the middle of summer.
So hot in there,
and it was the lights. They must have had like old lights or something, because they were like roasted. I remember like dripping with sweat.
Cal, you weren't there for that, were you? Like,
no, Cal wasn't in the band.
You weren't in the band. What were they called? Well, the people that booked you, what was their name?
Only Ambition.
Only Ambition. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we were working with them for a little while, and they were kind of fronted by our friends in the De Niro's. And his mate. So Chris, who I met at a festival years ago through a mutual friend, got in contact with me like 4 years later and was like, "Hey man, I see you're in a band." We got chatting. So yeah, and that's where that came from. That whole Only Ambition thing.
Yeah.
Callum, you right, mate?
No.
Callum's dislocated his shoulder.
For real?
No. I mean, I should be fine. Who knows?
He's just limbering up.
You better be all right, Callum. Otherwise, we're going to need to find a new drummer.
I was going to say, you'd be done.
Do you know what? I was thinking about that the other day.
What, quitting the band?
No. I just remembered, like, during lockdown, because there was nothing to do. Like, you've seen me play drums. Obviously, it's a little bit intense. But obviously, when you got the electric drum cup on your wrist, and I just remembered today at work, because I think something happened to my wrist or something. Oh, this is so irrelevant. You can cut it out if you want.
I'm not cutting this out. This sounds amazing. I don't know where it's going.
There was a point during lockdown where I was like so close to like calling them up and being like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. You know, Alice changed his first record.
Yeah.
The drummer, King, recorded that with like like the cartilage in his shoulder was just like gone. But he recorded the whole album anyway.
Mate,
no, bitches, man. And I ain't no bitch.
This is like the most sweariest episode yet.
I was going to say, how many beeps are we going to have for Callum?
Fair amount.
My life is just one beep.
This is one long sensor. I just gone dark. He's back.
There we go.
Look at that. Boys, I love you and I miss you. Thank you very much for hopping on. Before I kick you off for the night, is there anything you want to shout out? Local music, local venue, anything like that? Chip it in. Go on. Go on.
Callum, of course, has
me.
Where do we find you?
Solo project, Fat Samurai.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself, I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
he's not faking. He does really.
No, I
love it.
I really like it.
No,
Callum mostly sings for Wales. His voice is so low.
Yeah.
But if you can make it out,
so much.
it's really nice.
I do listen to the Fat Samurai EPs late at night, and it just reverberates through my skull, and it calms me down. Like in all seriousness, do check out Fat Samurai.
Also, I did one of those things that these two did with Will, so that should be coming out
as well.
Hopefully.
We've already spoke about Father Benjamin.
The De Niro's.
The De Niro's.
Yeah.
Also, Captain Flaky.
I have one.
Eric Layton.
Check out the Lucid Skies on SoundCloud. No one in this scene knows him because he doesn't gig around here, but he's one of my mates. He's really good.
Nice.
My one, I'm going to say Eric Layton, who is on Spotify's Captain Flaky, I think. But he's released 2 little EPs and a single as well. And I didn't even realize how good of a musician he was because he was so quiet, didn't play at any open mics. And then he was like, "Oh, hey guys, I released an EP," and I listened to it, and I was like, "Jesus, so good."
Okay, I'm gonna shout out the Chromatics, which is my mate Liam's band. I went to school with him way back. We're in the same form and stuff, so we're always playing in the music block together. And he's a sick bassist, really good bassist. But then the Chromatics is his group. Really catchy stuff. I really enjoy it. Really, it keeps popping up on my music playlist and stuff, and just on my mix, and it's highly recommend. Very good stuff.
There's a lot of good stuff in St Albans alone. We just mentioned in the outer areas people can pull through.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's something in the water, man. I've heard people say that. Something in the water in St Albans, Hertfordshire.
Sure.
I think it's a very good breeding ground for musicians for sure, and with the springboard of the horn going as a good first place to gig, being so welcoming to new bands, and then being so close enough to travel into London, it's a perfect place for it, really, I think.
Yeah,
which is why I moved to Bristol.
Yeah. You got your guitars though, so you're fine.
Yeah,
I've absolutely fine.
Yeah. I've got,
You got your amp as well. Holy crap!
I got my.
You still need to send me that demo, Isaac. Where is it?
Oh, he's dead.
Chaos.
Sorry?
Sheer chaos.
You still need to send me that demo, man.
I haven't recorded it yet, man.
I'm gonna hit stop recording before it kicks off again. Boys, this has been great.
Yeah,
I love you.
Thank you
very much, Nick.
Conjure them all.